Welcome to a world where the flickering flames of a campfire illuminate not just the night, but also the darkest corners of our imagination. In this video, we're diving into unsettling true campfire stories that evoke fear and suspense, tales that will make you think twice before heading into the woods alone. As the shadows dance around you, these chilling narratives will remind you of the primal fear that lurks within us all, the fear of isolation in the wilderness. Imagine sitting around a crackling fire, surrounded by towering trees and the sounds of nature. The air is thick with the scent of pine and the warmth of the flames, but as the stories unfold, that warmth can quickly turn to cold dread. We'll explore a selection of true accounts that have been shared by those who have experienced the unexplainable, the terrifying, and the downright eerie. Each tale is steeped in suspense, drawing you in with relatable settings that could easily mirror your own camping trips or hikes in the woods. The storytelling style of Blackthorn Whispers is particularly captivating, known for his ability to weave suspense into every word. His narratives often feature ordinary people in everyday situations, which makes the fear all the more palpable. As you listen, you might find yourself picturing your own camping experiences, recalling the times you felt a chill run down your spine or heard a rustle in the bushes. This relatability is what makes these stories so effective. They tap into our shared experiences and fears, reminding us that danger can lurk just beyond the firelight. Throughout this video, we'll delve into tales of mysterious figures lurking in the darkness, strange noises that disrupt the silence of the night, and encounters with the unknown that leave a lasting impression. Each story serves as a reminder of the vulnerability we face when we step into the wild, far from the safety of our homes. So, gather around, turn down the lights, and prepare yourself for a journey into the unsettling. These true campfire stories will not only entertain, but also evoke a sense of fear that resonates long after the last embers have faded. Are you ready to confront the darkness? Let's begin. Story 1. The Lost Hiker. In the heart of a sprawling national park where towering trees stretch toward the sky and the underbrush teems with life, a young hiker named Jake set out for what he thought would be a routine day on the trails. The sun was shining, birds were chirping, and the air was crisp with the scent of pine. Jake had planned a simple loop trail, one he had hiked before, but as the hours passed, he found himself straying off the beaten path, drawn in by the allure of untouched nature. Little did he know, this decision would lead him into a nightmare. As the sun began to dip below the horizon, casting long shadows across the forest floor, Jake realized he had lost his way. Panic set in as he retraced his steps, but the familiar landmarks he had relied on were nowhere to be found. The once comforting sounds of nature now felt ominous, and the rustling leaves seemed to whisper secrets he couldn't understand. With each passing moment, the weight of isolation pressed down on him, amplifying his vulnerability in the vast wilderness. As darkness enveloped the forest, Jake's heart raced. He fumbled for his phone, but there was no signal. The flashlight on his device flickered weakly, casting eerie shadows that danced around him. That's when he heard it. A low, guttural growl echoing through the trees. It was a sound that sent chills down his spine, primal and menacing. He turned, scanning the darkness, but saw nothing. The growl came again, closer this time, and Jake's instincts kicked in. He began to run, adrenaline coursing through his veins as he stumbled over roots and rocks, desperately trying to escape whatever was lurking in the shadows. The forest, once a place of beauty, transformed into a labyrinth of terror. Every snap of a twig felt like a warning. Every rustle in the bushes, a reminder of his isolation. Jake's mind raced with thoughts of what could be pursuing him. Was it a wild animal or something even more sinister? The emotional impact of his vulnerability was overwhelming. He was utterly alone, with no one to hear his cries for help. As he ran deeper into the woods, the growling faded, but the fear remained. Hours passed, and exhaustion began to take its toll. Just when he thought he might find safety, he stumbled into a clearing, only to find himself face to face with a figure standing silently in the moonlight. The encounter would haunt him forever, a chilling reminder of the dangers that lurk in the wilderness, waiting for the unsuspecting to wander too far from the path. Story 2. The Campground Whisperer. Nestled deep within a serene forest, a small campground offered a perfect escape for a group of friends eager to unwind and reconnect with nature. The sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple as laughter filled the air. Campers set up their tents, roasted marshmallows, and shared stories around the crackling fire. It was a picturesque evening, one that promised relaxation and camaraderie. But as night fell and the stars twinkled overhead, an unsettling atmosphere began to creep in. As the fire dwindled to glowing embers, the friends settled into their tents, ready for a night of restful sleep. However, around midnight, a soft whisper broke the silence, barely audible yet undeniably present. At first, they dismissed it as the wind rustling through the trees or perhaps a trick of their imagination. But as the whispers continued, growing clearer and more distinct, a sense of dread began to settle over the group. "What was that?" Sarah asked, her voice trembling slightly. The others exchanged nervous glances, their earlier laughter replaced by an uneasy silence. The whispers seemed to come from all directions, echoing through the darkness, weaving in and out of the trees. They were unintelligible, yet carried an eerie familiarity that sent shivers down their spines. Curiosity mixed with fear, and the group decided to investigate the source of the unsettling sounds. Armed with flashlights, they ventured into the woods, the beam of light cutting through the thick darkness. Each step felt heavier, the shadows around them growing more menacing. The whispers intensified, swirling around them like a haunting melody, urging them deeper into the forest. Paranoia began to take hold. Was someone playing a prank, or was there something more sinister at play? The unknown loomed large, and with every rustle of leaves their hearts raced. As they moved further from the safety of their campsite, the whispers transformed into fragmented phrases, almost as if they were being beckoned by unseen voices. "Come closer," one voice seemed to say, while another whispered, "Help us." The friends exchanged terrified glances, their minds racing with possibilities. Were they alone in the woods, or was something watching them from the shadows? The theme of paranoia gripped them tightly as they stumbled back toward the campsite, the whispers fading but the fear lingering. They huddled together, hearts pounding, realizing that the wilderness, once a place of peace, had turned into a realm of uncertainty. The night stretched on, filled with the echoes of whispers that would haunt their memories long after they left the campground, a chilling reminder of the unknown lurking just beyond the firelight. Story 3: The Shadow in the Trees. A group of 5 friends, eager for adventure and a break from their daily routines, set off for a weekend camping trip in a remote area known for its breathtaking views and tranquil surroundings. The excitement was palpable as they arrived at the campsite, laughter echoing through the trees as they unloaded their gear and set up their tents. They shared stories, roasted hot dogs over the fire, and made plans for hiking the next day. The camaraderie among them was infectious, and the night felt alive with possibilities. As darkness fell, the forest transformed into a magical realm, illuminated by the flickering campfire. They gathered around, swapping ghost stories and teasing each other, their voices mingling with the sounds of the night. But as the hours passed, a sense of unease began to creep in. The laughter faded, replaced by an awareness of the vast wilderness surrounding them. It was then that they noticed something unusual, a shadow lurking just beyond the reach of the firelight. At first, they dismissed it as a trick of the light, or perhaps an animal moving through the underbrush. But as the night wore on, the shadow remained, shifting slightly as if it were watching them. The friends exchanged nervous glances, their earlier excitement giving way to a growing tension. "Did you see that?" Mark whispered, his voice barely above a breath. The others nodded, their hearts racing as they strained to see through the darkness. As they sat in silence, the shadow seemed to grow more defined, taking on a shape that was both human and otherworldly. It stood still among the trees, its presence unsettling and ominous. The friends felt a chill run down their spines, the camaraderie that had once filled the air now replaced by a palpable fear. They debated whether to investigate or stay put, but the thought of confronting whatever lurked in the shadows was daunting. Finally, they decided to gather their courage and approach the figure, flashlights in hand. As they moved closer, the shadow shifted again, retreating deeper into the woods. Panic surged through them as they realized they were not just facing an unknown entity, but their own vulnerability in the wilderness. The forest, once a place of adventure, now felt like a trap, isolating them from safety and comfort. In that moment, the friends understood the true nature of fear, the realization that they were at the mercy of the unknown. The shadow in the trees became a symbol of their fragility, a reminder that even in the company of friends, the wilderness could be a lonely and terrifying place. As they retreated back to the safety of the firelight, the laughter that once filled the air was replaced by a heavy silence, each of them grappling with the unsettling truth of their experience. As we wrap up our journey through these chilling tales, let's take a moment to recap the unsettling stories we've shared. We began with the story of the lost hiker, Jake, who found himself alone in the woods, pursued by an unknown presence. His experience highlighted the primal fear of isolation and the dangers that can lurk just beyond the safety of familiar trails. Next, we ventured into the eerie atmosphere of a campground where a group of friends heard unsettling whispers in the night. Their investigation into the source of those whispers revealed the theme of paranoia and the unknown, reminding us that even the most peaceful settings can harbor hidden terrors. Finally, we explored the story of the shadow in the trees, where a group of friends confronted a mysterious figure lurking in the darkness. This encounter underscored their vulnerability in the wilderness, illustrating how quickly a fun camping trip can turn into a nightmare. Each of these stories serves as a chilling reminder of the importance of being aware of our surroundings when we venture into nature. The wilderness can be a beautiful escape, but it also holds risks that we must acknowledge. Whether it's the fear of getting lost, the unsettling sounds of the night, or the feeling of being watched, these experiences can evoke deep-seated fears that resonate with all of us. As you reflect on these tales, we encourage you to take a moment to consider your own experiences in the great outdoors. Have you ever felt that sense of unease while camping or hiking? We'd love to hear your stories in the comments below. Sharing our experiences can help us all stay vigilant and prepared for whatever the wilderness may throw our way. If you enjoyed these chilling stories and want to hear more, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. By liking and sharing this video, you help us reach more viewers who appreciate the thrill of suspense and the unknown. We have plenty more spine-tingling content lined up, so stay tuned for our next adventure into the eerie and unsettling. Thank you for joining us, and remember to keep your eyes open and your instincts sharp the next time you find yourself in the wild. Until next time, stay safe and keep exploring.